gotta do. Monitoring.
I just want to say this as well, if I may.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want to thank Jill, Michelle, Keith, Evelyn, Melissa, Michael, and I believe it was Catherine, and Helena. It takes a lot of courage to stand behind that mic. It takes a lot of guts. And it also takes a lot of conviction on your part, and I'm really moved by that conviction. And I want you to know that a lot of us, and I can only speak to myself, we've spent a lot of sleepless nights over this. And God bless my husband. He has heard me go over this hour by hour by hour. And as lately as this morning, Representative Skibout and myself sat and pondered solutions. We're not your adversaries on this. We're trying to find viable solutions that will hold, excuse the pun, will hold water and will be sustainable. And that doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes posturing, and it takes the ability for us to develop policies that are concrete. We can't wave a magic wand. Believe me, if I would have done it the day that Keith reached out to me. I had no idea this happened, but my neighbor thought enough of me to send me a text one Sunday morning. I had no idea. And quite frankly, you could have knocked me over with a feather. But when I ran for office, it was because I wanted to make things happen in the community. And just like this, we all want to make something happen. Nobody's laughing about this. Nobody's unfurling a banner. But we have to do it in a sensible manner that will protect everybody and will hold up in a court of law, not just a court of public opinion. Yes.
Does that mean you will revisit it as a council, or is it still concluded as it was
I think
stated?
we're always
Yes.
gonna revisit this. I think
But that's not
that
what the letter said.
until we can lay our head on a pillow and say, how do we prevent this? We'll continue to revisit it, and we'll revisit it in meetings, and we'll revisit it over cups of coffee with you. You don't even have to buy. You know? This isn't fun. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Then we should not state that it's closed.
Yes,
Right,
correct?
right, that's what the
They
letter
never-
said.
As far as my interpretation, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that incident is closed because the individual has gone home. They're gone. But this policy and this happening, we do want it. I can only speak for myself. I don't ever want this to happen again. Like, it's terrifying to me, you know? And Bruce and I have talked about some creative ways and some legislative ways, but until we can land on it, you're gonna have to be patient. We don't want your children to be exposed needlessly. That is the last thing we want.
And we appreciate that very much.
Of course.
So please don't say no further action will be taken. Tell us, hey, we wanna work with you on this.
Yeah, because your
To
letter
make
says no
Pella
action.
The Pella we
Same.
love.
Right, well, and if I'm interpreting it correctly, and if I'm not, you know me, I don't mind if people disagree with me. I believe we're speaking about that incident at hand.
But it wasn't clarified that way.
Well, I mean, that's where we can't go back and act like this didn't happen, because it did, it happened. But again, we're all appalled by it, we're saddened by it. You know, I feel like a lot of innocence was taken away from our community that day. And guess what? Mine included. But,
So the next incident, you will what?
that is gonna have to be something, again, that we work out, with legal counsel. Sadly, that's the way of our world.
All law and all policy, right, is discriminatory.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nature of it. You have to discriminate and determine what is right and what is wrong.
Right.
And if you don't have an actual standard of righteousness
Right.
by which you can judge, then you're just willy-nilly and
Right.
and then you have no moral ground to stand on anything. So that way, whoever then says, well, I'm going to sue you, they're the ones who are going to get the vote and they're going to win. Right? That's how
Right.
politics is run in America.
Right.
The person who screams the loudest, who gets the ADL or the ACLU involved, they're the ones who win. It's not based upon what's morally right.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to say here. We want you to do what's morally right. You're talking about what's going to win in court. Do what's right.
Exactly.
Right, and don't
Do
wait.
what's right. What does God say? What is right?
I think
Absolutely.
that there is foundational issues here of our society. And they have clearly been placed before this body to have to deal with.
Yep.
Yeah, so deal with it.
Not an easy thing to do.
You didn't
Nobody
deal
says
with
it.
it. You didn't deal with it.
Then I would beg for some time, because this is weighed heavy on our hearts.
Good.
But you said
Good.
it's
Okay.
closed.
But what's
I just
the
want to
emergency?
encourage you. I'm a preacher, so I can pass
And
it.
I understand
But
that
I don't know what
politics,
they said it was
all you have to do is witness what has happened in Des Moines City Council. Anybody see that? It's
Yep.
who makes the most noise.
That's right.
Well, then we're gonna make noise.
Yes.
No, I don't.
All right.
But nonetheless, it does not change the fact that this has weighed heavy on my and our hearts. But we can't just snap a finger and legislate morality. It doesn't work that way.
We're not asking.
But it does.
You can put in
Yes,
policies.
yes.
Yes, it does.
And our question is, what
No,
will happen now?
There's a
How will this be
foundational,
rectified?
there's a foundational issue, and it doesn't happen overnight.
What about the
Doesn't
pool
happen.
tomorrow?
That's all I
What
wanna
about
say.
the
Yeah.
pool tomorrow?
law is legislative morality.
Without being
That's all
exposed?
right.
And what are we gonna do if somebody decides to let the drag queen talk in the library next week?
I'm
How
sorry,
do
but
we deal with this
tomorrow,
thing?
could you just say to the pool, we're just gonna say until we can figure it out, everybody's gonna wear a top.
Yeah.
Period, done deal.
How hard is that?
Do that tomorrow.
It's like a
That's not
Band-Aid.
discrimination.
It's a
No,
dress
no,
code.
right.
Rest
It
of the
is.
policy fixes it now.
And Jill, that is something that Bruce and I've even discussed with Mike, and I called it a swim shirt.
Yes.
Yes,
There you
yes,
go.
maybe that's the solution.
Yes.
I mean, you
It's
know,
at least a short term.
You can't even get into the restaurant without something. Maybe they can't get into that.
but then you would have to come up with a garment that didn't impede someone to the point, I was a lifeguard for years. You cannot put a garment on somebody that would impede their ability to swim. So it isn't
They're
like
called
you're
swim
a
shirts.
wonderful
Olympic swimmers have swim
BPT,
shirts.
but, you know, you've got to, it's gotta be soft.
You're already on the way to solving it.
All right, hey,
But-
in the
but-
interest-
but-
In the interest of Patty standing up for.
Well-
We had closed the discussion.
Sorry.
We're moving on to the